Hey guys, Jesse Stay of #GeekGreens here. So today I wanted to show you real quick. I don't think I've done a video on this before, and when it's in full bloom, I'll show it to you. I've got a really cool tree in my backyard that I planted recently. Within last year or so, and I let it fruit this year. Normally, you like to give it a year to fruit, but these are such small fruits. I'm not that big. I'm not that worried about it having issues. It's actually a easy grower here, and it actually grows right here in Utah. Grows well here in Utah. I don't know a lot about the history of it, but it is. It's a cold hardy tree, not very common though, and has beautiful flowers in the spring, different type of flowers, and just a very different fruit. And the fruit is really interesting, so I want to show it to you here, and I'll tell you what it is. So this right here is a medlar. Looks a little bit kind of like a rose hip. I got a whole bunch of them right here. Right there you can see. Get a little closer to you here. But it looks a little bit kind of like a rose hip here. But it is not a rose hip. You let it ripen. What happens is if you pick it right off the tree, it has this kind of tart taste to it. It reminds me a lot of an unripened guava in some ways when you pick it right off the tree. Around November, maybe Thanksgiving time or so. Usually after the first frost, depending on where you're at, you'll want to pick these, and only got a few this year because it's its first year in production. This is all I have right here. But within like the first year after. I'm sorry. After the first frost of the year, you pick these. They're going to still be hard when you pick them. They take a while, and they're kind of like pears, where you pick them off the tree before they're ripe. When just because they have a bit longer season, then you let them ripen indoors for a while. And then you wait until they're a little bit soft. And this is a little bit squishy, and you can see it's kind of crinkled up like a prune in some ways, and that's how you know it's ready is it starts to soften up. Now I've never had one before, so we're gonna find out if I actually like it or not, and hopefully I've waited long enough for it to ripen. I have tried them unripened. They're not. I mean they're really tart, kind of what's the word, stringent. Like I said, kind of like a unripened unripened guava in some ways is kind of what the taste reminds me of. Hard to explain, but this right here is a medlar, and I'm gonna try it for the first time here. Next year I'll show you my tree and stuff. I got some other really cool trees that so far they're surviving the winter. We've gotten down to about 15-20 degrees this year. I think we're gonna have a warm winter this year, so actually it'll be good for the garden. But I've got some pineapple guavas that are still thriving outside in the southwest side of my garden. Really interesting group of plants. I'm hoping they all survive the winter, and we'll get some really interesting additional fruits that we'll try. But this is the first of the really cool fruits that I've been planting that I'm getting to try. So let's give it a try here and let's see how it tastes. I honestly, I'm wondering if I should cut it in half just to kind of see what it looks like. So I'm gonna do that. Let me get my trusty knife out of my drawer here. So you can't see it. Let me see if I can do this so you guys can see. Do this without cutting myself clean off my knife. Been using this for other reviews on the Social Geek channel. So let's just cut it without cutting me. It has big seeds inside, so I mean it's not gonna be your easiest to eat. I'm gonna put this on the desk so I don't cut myself. It's not gonna be your easiest to eat fruit per se. It has seeds probably the size of like it reminds me a lot of a guava in terms of consistency and even the seeds and such. But okay, so here's the inside. It's in the apple family, actually, I believe. So I don't know the scientific name. I'm still learning scientific names. But you can kind of see it here. The green in there kind of suggests to me that maybe it's not 100% ripe yet, so I'm going to give this a fair chance if it doesn't taste well. But I usually want to be a little bit custard-like in consistency, so I've read. Here's the seed right here. Let me pull that out. So seeds right there. Still got some fruit on it. I can get to focus. Let's see. You can kind of see it. Anyway, so let's give it a try here. A little bit sticky. That's good. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of a guava. In many ways, kind of a guava that's a little bit more of an apple taste to an extent. Has that kind of dry feeling of a guava, and this actually isn't bad. This is much more ripe. I'm gonna let these ripen a little more, but it'll be even sweeter. But yeah, this reminds me a lot of a guava. Guava with a bit more of an apple taste to it in some ways, and has kind of that dry taste. But I like it. It's not bad. I'm eating it skin and all. I might cut off the top here. I don't know. That's just where the flour was. It's not that big a deal. Let me take off some of the sides of the top, but not too bad. I'm impressed. This is it's a good fruit. This is something I could take and just. I mean, it's got big seeds in it, but spit out the seeds. No worse than a cherry. It's bigger than a cherry. Here's another full size one so you can compare. You can see in my hands, kind of see how big it is. But granted, I have kind of big hands, so a little bigger than a cherry, probably size of a really small plum, maybe. A little bigger than like a crab apple or so, a bigger crab apple. Way better tasting than a crab apple. I like this. Yeah, this is good. I approve. So they do take excuse me. They do take a while to ripen. So like I said, I think I'm even gonna let these ripen a little more before I eat more, because they do still have a little bit of tartness to them. It's supposed to be a little more custard-like, but man, I like this a lot. This is it's like a mix. How do you explain it? It's a mix between. It's a mix between guava and apple. That's the only way I can explain it. It's good though. I'm very impressed. I like it so far. One more bite before I close out this video. Man, so here we are. Within, let's see, it's December. When I'm recording this, it's December 11th, 2016, here in Salt Lake Valley in Utah, and I'm still eating fruit from my trees. Haven't refrigerated it or anything. This is good stuff. I can't wait for next year when I've got a whole bunch more. Some people make pies out of these. Sometimes people will make jelly and stuff like that. But man, I could just eat these alone. I like the raw fruit. I'm still just reflecting back. I've got my big apricot tree in the back. I'm still eating. I put some of the frozen apricots in my smoothies yesterday, so I'm still having apricots. I froze my cherries from my tart cherry tree. Added those to my smoothie with some kale that still left over. In fact, I've still got some kale growing in the backyard that's still not all the way frozen. So eventually I'm gonna have my greenhouse set up, so that'll be good. But things are going well in the yard. I'm really happy with the production I've seen. And this is a new fruit I haven't tried before, and I've been looking forward to this. This is really cool. So next year, there's a really good chance I'm gonna have cold hardy kiwis The cold hardy kiwis are a little smaller than normal kiwis, maybe a little bigger than this medlar. And you eat them skin and all, and they're supposed to be sweeter than normal kiwis. I'm really excited for that. I'm hoping we get some cold hardy kiwis. I've had this plant for 3 years now, hasn't flowered yet, and I'm hoping this spring it's going to flower and we're going to see some fruit. So the male is doing all right. I'm hoping the male next to it will flower too. I got kiwi growing all over my yard, just in different vines and stuff. It's a little hard to establish, but once you get it going, it'll start taking off, and mine is really taking off. So I'm hoping we'll cross our fingers on the kiwi. There's a good chance I'll have pawpaw next year, 2017. Got my 2 pawpaw trees. They survived the winter. One of them started to die a little on the top, but I pruned it up and it seems to be fine now. I'm adding complementary plants to all these too. I like having nitrogen fixers, dynamic accumulators, which have send roots deep down in the ground. They suck up the deep nutrients, so you get the magnesiums, potassiums, other nutrients from deep down the ground from these dynamic accumulators, and then you chop and drop them, and all those nutrients that the plants get end up going into the ground. At the same time, the trees next to them, the roots will through beneficial fungi and stuff will share nutrients between the plants next to it. So you put these companion plants next to the trees. So I've been doing that with my pawpaws and other stuff. I've got some other stuff I'm growing. I just established in some pots some hog peanuts that should take off, and those are nitrogen fixers. I got those from the book. What's the name of it? The book is Paradise Lot. Highly recommend it. It's an entertaining book. It's not really fully educational. It's inspiring. It talks about these 2 guys that build this permaculture paradise in their quarter acre or less lot up in Boston, and similar types of climate as we have here in Utah. So it's I like reading it because it teaches a lot about cold weather and what plants work in cold weather and such, which I've been trying to master here. But I got some plants from their garden there that I'm going to be planting next year. I put in pots this year. They're outside in the winter, and hopefully we'll send up some shoots and we'll get those planted and have some hog peanuts starting to spread. Got some mint root from their garden that I'm going to put in, and that makes these little roots that are supposed to be pretty good that you can eat. We'll put around. And what any other plants we're gonna see next year? We may or may not see some pineapple guava next year. I'm probably going to cut off anything that grows on that plant because I have 2 plants because I want them to have nice strong roots to survive winter. Because typically that's a little bit warmer weather. We're zone 7 here, and it's supposed to go down to zone 7 under cover, and I'm not covering it. I'm putting it on the southwest side of my house, which should provide the heat necessary. I'm actually espaliering it on my house, and look that term up. I'll show it to you someday, where it's going to be growing on kind of a trellis along the side of the house in kind of a flat form versus a full out tree, and that should pull in some of the heat from the house to the plant, and it should help it even further. So we'll see if that works, and we've got pineapple guava. Anyway, though, I want to just show off these medlars. So cool. I'm really excited about this. It's a medlar that I'm eating in my house that I grew on my tree, and it tastes delicious. I really love the taste of this. It's nice and it's really soft consistency. Really good. I'm very impressed. Anyway, I'll show you the tree, show you my garden as things start to bloom. I want to do a few more posts going out, especially in the winter. At this time of year, I really start to want to do more videos, and I need to get more consistent with that. But wanted to show off. If you have any questions, leave any questions down in the comments. I'll do a few of these live, a few of these in other formats. I'm going to try and start posting more on YouTube. I've been horrible at posting on YouTube. I need to get like $100 in revenue on YouTube, and and the more I post, the more that increases. So I really need to start increasing that, so we see some revenue on YouTube, and then I can really start doing some cool stuff and start hiring editors and stuff like that to start making this more valuable for you guys, and start really getting word out there. I had one last thing. I had John Kohler, my friend John Kohler. I've never met him in real life. I just follow his blog. Really. I love his Growing Your Greens YouTube channel. But John Kohler reached out to me. He was in Salt Lake and wanted to get out, but I got his message too late. I'm really hoping that if he comes out to Salt Lake again, we can get him out here. Maybe do a video with him. And if he wants to do it with me, well, that's fine too. Always happy to. But John, if you're watching this, please, let's have you over. I want to show you my lot, show you what we're doing. I'd love to show you around Salt Lake too. There's some really cool permaculture projects going on around Salt Lake in some of the groups I hang out in. And I might do some videos around that too. In fact, I've got some in the archive. I really need to just get edited and publish of things like Suga Green Hub, which I don't know if they're still going strong or not. They had kind of a shakeout recently, and a few others that we've done. I've been doing mushroom cultivation and such that I need to get some of those videos edited and out there. So hopefully you'll see more from me here soon. Some really cool stuff. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Please hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, hit the like button. I'm going to be publishing these on the GeekGreens Facebook page and then sharing them to my Social Geek page as well, since that's got the bigger audience. So wherever, either Social Geek or GeekGreens, hit like there. Comment, subscribe on YouTube, like, and the more of those I get, the more I get motivated to publish these and share these. I want to start showing you guys stuff that may not be common, that you may not have heard of. You may want to learn about gardening in more geeky ways, and non-conventional ways of growing your garden, and having a productive paradise in your backyard. So keep watching, keep following, keep encouraging me to post, please, and you'll see me again later. Anyway, this is Jesse Stave, #GeekGreens.